Hi there, I'm Budda and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. In today's episode, I'm gonna show you my Knaggs Choptank guitar. A lot of you guys have been asking me to show you some of my guitars and to explain to you why do I use it, how do I use it, why do I love it. So here it is. This is the first episode about my guitars. And of course, it needed to be about my Choptank. This is the most fucking amazing guitar in the entire world. Mine is serial number 48, which means it is a really early one. And it happened to arrive on my birthday. I opened the case, I picked up the guitar, and it's in tune. I was like, okay, this means something. On my birthday and in tune. It's already great. The neck is unbelievable. Unbelievable good. It has an 8.5 radius. 8.5 inch radius. And it's perfect. It has the jazz car frets in it. And it's freaking perfect. Mine comes with Lindy Fralin Blue Special, which I love, and I've only changed. Joe Knaggs did it for me in the factory. So I have 3 single coils, so like a Strat, regular Strat, neck and middle, middle and bridge, and you have the volume and tone for neck and middle, and the second tone is for the bridge, which makes it really helpful when you want to kind of make the bridge a little darker. But I asked Joe to install me another switching, which is a push-pull. So I pull it down and I depress it and it's pushed. So now I have the bridge and the neck together in this position or in this position. But when I'm in this position, when I'm in the neck position, the tone that is working is the neck tone. If I'm in here, the tone that is working is the bridge tone. So I can have two different positions. If I use the tones, I can have 2 different sounds just by changing the tone of the pickup. The only mod I did on the guitar was to install a treble bleed on the volume pot, so I don't lose any highs when I roll off the volume. And that's because I use the volume a lot on this guitar. I don't use the tone that much, only for specific things, but I use the volume a lot, really a lot. It has some really nice vintage Clausen style tuners, and I can say enough. It's an ash body, which makes it a little Telecaster-y, and this is what really drove me into this guitar. I saw it, I found it really beautiful. I saw it on a video by Mick Taylor, who now does a YouTube show that I'm a really huge fan, and I watch it all the time, which is That Pedal Show with Dan. That's a great YouTube show. But I saw Mick playing it on Guitarist Magazine video. He played one, and Mick has, I don't know what he has, but he plays guitar like I see myself playing. So what I mean, when Mick plays any guitar amp, I really hear it, how it will sound on my hands. It's a really strange thing, because there are people that play it great. I have a lot of friends that have great tone, but I play their rig and I don't like it because it sounds good on them, but it doesn't work with me. So I saw Mick playing one and I said, I gotta find me one of these. It's all I love. I love Strat. I'm a Strat player, but I love the bridge of the Telecaster, and this is where this guitar comes in, because the bridge is kind of a Tele bridge, because it's all metal, and the bridge pickup is mounted on the bridge. So you have a kind of a bridge, a telly bridge sound. It's not a telly, but it's warmer than, it's fairer than usually a Strat is. And because of this guitar being ash, it means it has a little more mid-range than a usual Strat, so it's not that scoop. And the Blues Special Lindy Fralin pickups, I think they also add to the equation. The frets are incredible. The playability of the guitar is unbelievable. I use 10s on this, and I use 9s on all my other guitars because this feels really smooth. Although it's a Fender length scale, it feels really simple to play, really spongy, really. I cannot say enough about this guitar. I really love it. It's the best guitar I've ever played in the whole world. I have 37 guitars at this moment, but this is my faithful companion. I would just love to have another one with a tremolo on it, because sometimes I need it, and because it's really bad to break a string on this guitar and change to a spare and fuck, I have to play a Fender or. The guitar would be great if I didn't have this one to compare it to, but this is my voice, it's my main guitar, my faithful companion. Let's listen to some sounds. Today I'm hooked up to my great Royal Atlantic, which is a very versatile amp, and I have on the path on the signal path, I have my Roger Mayer Octavia, just to show you one of my favorite things with volume, and because it is a really important thing in my signal chain, because I use a lot the Octafuzz. Okay, and I will change, the drive will be coming from the channel 1 and 2 of the Royal Atlantic. So let's listen to it on the clean channel. Neck pickup. So you have really 5 distinct sounds. You have the neck, the in-between, the really mid-rangey middle pickup, the other in-between, and the bridge. Then you have the neck and bridge pickup. So whenever I'm in this position, I have the neck and bridge, or in this position, but the tone will work differently. So hear it with a tone set on 4. And now on the neck, both pickups with a tone all way. So you can have two different in-between sounds. So using the neck and the bridge, just you can adjust the tone to get it a little darker in one setting or a little brighter in the other, and you have two distinct sounds, which is great. And usually I use the pickups to get my EQ from. So I don't use pedals that much. I mainly use the guitar, and I only use pedals. I talked about it in another episode. I only use pedals when I have specific arrangements for it. If I'm going to play with someone that I don't know, if I'm going to jam, if I'm going to play as a guest in a band, I will only take the guitar and the amp. And I'll set the amp to the maximum drive and use the controls on my guitar. That's it. If I'm playing with Budda Power Blues, for example, or Dona Carioca, or Trio Pagu, I will use pedals for specific songs, like the Octave Fuzz, or like the ZVEX Fuzz Factory, like the Univibe, because I need that texture for that specific song. But if I don't know what I will play, I don't want to be confused by pedals. I want to be playing, I want to know my notes, my harmonies, my chords, my riffs, and I'm really focused on that. So I use the guitar a lot. And even when I use it with pedals, I usually use the in-between settings because they have less mid-range, they have less of this, less fist, less attack, less the front of the note. They are more scooped, so they are kind of thinner sounding. So I use it as my rhythm. If I'm playing a... If I played it on the neck, it's more aggressive, it's louder, so I can use it. I use it as a boost, or if I'm soloing. Or I've even used it as I've seen Mr. Robert Cray using it, which is playing the rhythm on the middle and neck and the solo on the middle and bridge, because it brightens up the sound and it kind of gives you a boost. So if I'm playing with the overdrive on the amp, so I use the pickups a lot, the pickup configuration, and I'm always changing it to get tones out of it, to bring the sound down, to eliminate hum. So if I'm using here, you hear the hum. If I cut it here, this is hum canceling because the middle pickup is reverse wound. So it has the hum canceling. Sooner or later, I'm doing the out of phase mod on this guitar, so I can have the bridge and the neck out of phase as an option, as I did on my telly, and I showed you on another episode, which is a fucking great blues tone, and I'm loving it more and more. That's the only thing I miss on this guitar. And I've ordered from Lindy Fralin, I've ordered the bass plate to add to the bridge pickup. So before I change it, I'll probably do an episode on how does the guitar sound with the pickup alone and with the bass plate on it. Because it enhances, it's a simple metal thing that you put underneath the pickup, and it gives a little more bass, a little more fullness to the bridge pickup. That's another thing. How I use the volume, for example, with an overdrive as the amp is. I'm on 10, but I have all the other options. I have 7. 5. 5. So with just one setting on the amp, volume and pickups, I get it all that I need. And I usually, as I showed you on a previous episode, I usually use, when I use guitar and amp, I use my amp at the max, at the maximum distortion, overdrive, saturation, and volume that I will be using. So I set it to my loudest tone, and then I come back with the volume. I use the volume pot to raise it down. For example, if I use an Octavia, that's a different thing, because the Octavia is a fuzz and it compresses like hell. So when you back off the volume, you don't lose a lot of volume, but you lose a lot of gain. So it cleans up the pedal. So I have the Octavia turned on, as you can notice. Here you really notice the hum. So that's because of the fluorescent lights I have in here for the video. But if I use it like this, I'm on full volume. But I usually use the volume to control the gain on my Octavia, and it cleans up and shows me a lot more of the octave up. This is a way I use the guitar really a lot. But, for example, the way you can use the tone on your bridge pickup is to get a kind of an humbucker tone in the bridge. You kind of cut a little bit of the tone, like on 7. It depends on your tone. But let's listen to the amp on the high setting. we cut the tone a little bit. Trying on the low, that is more noticeable. And it usually makes the neck and bridge pickup more similar. It makes the bridge less bright, although I almost always use the tones open, unless I'm looking for that woman tone, that Clapton woman tone, like. Using the middle pickup is for doubling guitars. So if I play a riff on the dirty channel with the middle one, it has a really distinct tone to it, because it's really halfway between the bridge, the gnarly mid-rangey bridge pickup, and the neck pickup. So you have you are really halfway. You have the punch and the mid-range of the bridge, but you have the warmth of the neck. So it's a really great rhythm pickup. If I play it. So you get it. It's you have this is really, sometimes it's too much, but it's great to blend one guitar with the bridge and one with the neck, or one with the middle, because it's not too harsh, it's not too mid-rangey, but it has some mid-range into it. I will show you a riff doubling the guitars with the bridge and with the middle, one on each side, so you can really get it. You can get the difference. Now you understand why I really love this guitar, because it's so versatile. I mainly play with Budda Power Blues with this guitar, which is a blues set, a blues power trio, Hendrix inspired, Zeppelin inspired, Buddy Guy inspired, Albert King inspired, Deep Purple inspired, Martin Knopfler inspired. So we really cover a lot of land. Although we're writing our own stuff, but this guitar is my main guitar for sure in everything, and I really love it. I'm really in love by it. The bridge, if you notice, the bridge used to be black. It's the opposite. It's like Benjamin Button of guitars. So instead of being relict, it's getting newer and flashier, because the bridge was black, but all the black paint is coming off and it's becoming shiny of so much playing into it. I'm really saving some money to buy me another Choptank, probably a Knaggs for sure. I've quite decided between the Choptank or the Severn. But I want a backup for this guitar because every time I break a string, I get really sad because I have to play another guitar. And even though I have other good guitars, no other guitar comes close to this. This is now my friend, my faithful companion, and I really, really, really love it. It stays in tune perfectly. I never had an issue with it, never. And I've been playing a lot of shows. It has more than 600, close to 1,000 shows on it, and I never had an issue. It's always been perfect. I never changed anything besides the treble bleed on the volume pot that it didn't have. It's completely stuck, and it's really, I don't have words to describe it. And I have another. I want to have another one with a tremolo because that's the only thing I sometimes miss in this guitar is not having a vibrato. I love the guitar not having vibrato because it feels different and it sounds different. But I'll love to have another one with vibrato so I can use in other things. But this is a freaking great guitar for rock and roll, for riffing, for blues, for funk. It's incredible. It's really a perfect guitar. I have no more words for it. And that's it. That's it. Really, that's it. I hope you have enjoyed the show. I hope this has been helpful to you and in some way that I could help you. This is the first one where I show you my guitars, and of course this has to be the first one because it's the guitar. If I only had one guitar, it would be this one. So this is the first show about my guitars. I'll be showing you a lot more in episodes to come. Thank you so much for watching the show, for having the patience to watching me speaking and talking about guitars and playing. But I'm really in love about all of this thing about guitars, about pickups, pedals, cables, microphones, recording. I'm really in love about music, and that's the main reason I decided to do the show, to share it with you, to try to help other people to get different perspectives and to get some help from you, from your comments, from your suggestions that have been wonderful. So if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the family, join our community, and share it with the world. Please leave comments, suggestions for new episodes. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see each other next week. Bye-bye.